You likely know someone who seems completely put together. They laugh easily, excel at their work, and are appreciated by their peers. To anyone watching, they are thriving. But the moment the door closes, the mask drops. No matter what they achieve during the day, or how much praise they receive, it never feels like enough. They live as their own most relentless enemy. We often assume that self-loathing is loud, that it looks like outward chaos, visible breakdowns, or obvious self-destruction. Psychology reveals that the most persistent forms of self-criticism hide in plain sight. They are often masked by high levels of competence and the drive to succeed. This creates a constant psychological tax, the feeling that you must continually earn your right to exist. To stop the cycle, you first have to see the mechanics of how it operates. Consider a minor everyday setback, like sending an email with a typo or missing a small deadline. This diagram shows a standard response. The brain processes a setback as isolated behavior. I made a mistake. The action stays separate, but a self-critical brain processes it differently. The narrative shifts inward, and the thought becomes, I am a mistake. Psychologists call this identity fusion. Every minor failure bypasses the behavior and attaches straight to the character, becoming concrete proof of an unfixable personal flaw. To defend against this feeling, these individuals build a rigid armor, impossible standards of perfect performance and appearance. When the baseline requirement for self-worth is absolute perfection, failure is a mathematical certainty. There is no room for the variables of being human. This creates the loop shown here. You set a standard no one could meet, you inevitably fall short, and that failure feeds directly back into ruthless self-criticism. Every life event, even a success, is processed to arrive at the same destination, evidence that the individual at the center is broken beyond repair. This internal architecture warps how a person perceives everyone else, driving an addictive need to compare themselves to the world around them. They instinctively scan their environment for people who appear smarter, wealthier, or more attractive. This isn't just observation. It is the brain actively hunting for external evidence to justify its internal feelings of inadequacy. This model shows what happens when the outside world provides positive data, like a genuine compliment. This is cognitive dissonance. The brain deflects the praise because the positive input violates the established negative self-image. It doesn't fit the internal map. Yet, if a friend made the exact same mistake, this person would likely respond with boundless patience and empathy. This is the cognitive double standard. They operate a rulebook of grace for the rest of the world and a rulebook of ruthlessness for themselves. Maintaining this internal performance while managing an external life drains a person's reserves. Even simple interactions begin to feel like heavy lifting. These patterns survive because they feel like the background noise of reality. When the voice in your head has been there forever, you stop questioning if what it says is actually true. Breaking this cycle begins by taking these thoughts out of the shadows and labeling them. When you name the identity fusion or the comparison filter, they stop being facts about your character and start being recognizable errors in your brain's processing. This awareness creates a moment of friction. The next time you instinctively deflect a compliment or spiral over a mistake, you can see the shield going up. That recognition is where the momentum of the cycle finally begins to slow down. By exposing these double standards, you can slowly bridge the gap between how you treat the world and how you treat yourself. It is a long process of taking that instinctive grace you give to others and finally extending it back to where it is needed most.